joined today by Margaret Bates, an environmental academic and advisor with extensive expertise in sustainable waste management and resource efficiency. You spent over 4 years at OPRL, and you're now on secondment with Defra as the head of the scheme administrator for extended producer responsibility for packaging. And you also lecture at the University of Nottingham, which I didn't know. Northampton, sorry, thank you. I didn't know that about you.
I've done quite a few guest lectures for different universities since I left it as a permanent career.
Yeah.
That introduction does sound a bit like I can't hold down a job, which may be true, so I'm not criticising.
Maybe you're just a dynamic person who likes to move around a lot and have... There we go.
Better. Let's stick with that.
Well, thank you for being with us. How have you found ESS so far?
In all honesty, I found ESS quite frustrating.
Okay.
So I was here yesterday from like the moment it opened to the moment it closed, and I didn't get to do half of what I wanted to do.
Okay.
There are so many people to speak to, so many people to catch up with, so many stands that I want to visit, and so many panels that I want to listen to, that I just couldn't fit it in. So I've rather optimistically hoped that today I will be able to fit in everything I didn't manage to do yesterday. So wish me luck.
Are you on record then saying that you think there should be a third day of ESS?
I don't know.
I think it would be too many days.
I think it might be too many days.
We would
I think
die
some
of
people
exhaustion.
just wouldn't be able to survive it.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, well, thank you for joining us. And you must be pretty tired yourself because yesterday you hosted the PackUK panel at the RWM Packaging Theatre. What were the major takeaways from that session?
The major takeaways, I would say, were really that we need partnership to deliver, and that we're not going to find a solution unless we all work together. And in all honesty, I think that's true of every different environmental issue. No one person, no one organisation is going to solve them.
Yeah.
And I think that's particularly true when people look towards governments, because one of the things that Defra in particular has worked really hard on in recent years, particularly since Emma Bourne joined, is that stakeholder engagement, and not only telling stakeholders what we're thinking, but listening to what stakeholders think. So for a start, that's one of the other values of coming to something like this, really getting into the nuts and the bolts of what people's concerns are, and also where they have solutions that can really help us.
I mean, I can say from my side, having chaired the DRS panel yesterday, that was also a major theme, that these things are only going to work if we collaborate. So I think that's very true. And I've often heard you say at various industry events that as the head of the scheme administrator, you kind of think your job is to just annoy everyone a little bit. How's that going?
Well, I'm not sure it's not a lifetime commitment rather than just a scheme administrator commitment. I think because of the impact of what we're doing on local authorities and the impact of what we're doing on producers, there's always a balance between making sure that we deliver. And the first year, we're about to send out invoices on notices of liability and make the first payments to local authorities. So the first year is going to be the hardest year. But not only that, this together with the other packaging reforms really is a once in a generation change. And that isn't going to be easy. But this is also, and this came up in the panel yesterday, one of the things with the stakeholders. So some of the times when we've reached an issue that we're trying to resolve, the stakeholders, and in particular the steering group that we've had, have really helped and worked with us to find that solution. And one of the things I'm really grateful for that steering group is how much they stepped out of their silos, how much they listened and understood other people's perspective. So it wasn't, these are my lines and I am sticking to them. They were like, well, we think that, but if we did this, would that work? And so I'm thinking of one example in particular, but when we came up with that solution, it basically, people just went, oh, that's great, such relief, thank you. Yeah. There were no real ripples for it because it was something that everyone could get with, everyone could understand.
It's making me think of the Flex Collect trials, and I was speaking to representatives from PepsiCo and Nestle, and they said a similar thing, that actually when you're in a room together and you're trying to collaborate, a lot of these issues get ironed out. And again, the importance of an event like this, or something like the Scheme Administrator, where people are brought together to do so.
Absolutely, and Flex Collect is a great example, but it's not the only one. So we've also got the retail consortium around refill and reuse, which is really exciting, and it would be brilliant if we could actually see not just recycling, but a change so we actually start being more circular in our packaging rather than just recycle more.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one big topic in the news at the moment is inflation. And fortunately, a lot of companies have started worrying that EPR is going to raise food prices. Do you think these are legitimate concerns, or that perhaps they are a little bit overstated?
I think when there's a change, there's always concerns. I mean, no matter what we all say, there's always a bit of nervousness about change. So the actual overall impact of EPR on inflation is less than 0.1%. But there's lots of other things going on as well. But what we're talking about is a change that really incentivizes producers to make their stuff refillable or reusable, and really supports local authorities to make their services more efficient and effective, and joins them together in a way that I don't think they've ever been joined together before, so that what we see going forward is a saving to local authorities and an improvement on the environmental impact of our packaging. So I think there are legitimate concerns, but I think the benefits massively outweigh the concerns.
Yeah, I agree. Well, talking about going forward, I think your secondment is due to end in February next year. What is next for you? Do you know?
So as you said, it's a secondment, so there's always the option of going back to APRL. So I've now moved on from PackUK as of this week. So we've got new people in, Jez Blake and Esther Carter, and they've got it now. So I'm going to, you'll still be seeing me pop up, but I've been leaning into help on simpler recycling for a while, and then who knows.
Okay, well, brilliant. Good luck with that. I hope it goes well. Simpler recycling is a new beast for you to tackle, I'm sure.
I know, but do you know what I'm going to miss? One of the things that's been one of the challenges, but I've really loved, is the four-nation approach for EPR. Because it's so fascinating to see the different challenges and the different approaches, and see how we can draw from that to make the whole of the UK go for best in class.
Yeah, well, it sounds like you should then also be working on DRS, I think, too. So maybe you'll be able to collect them all. And I think final question, what has surprised you about being this intimately involved in government processes?
Two things, one positive, one less so. How much things change, and sometimes how things go really quickly and then really slowly. And particularly when, we've had, I've as you said, I've been there 20 months, I've had the general election and a reshuffle. But the other thing is the Defra civil servants are values driven, so they do really care. So where stakeholders might be thinking, oh, it's just a job, it's not. They really, really do care. And there are some amazing people who work there. I mean, the team we built up, PackUK, I love and admire all of them. And that excitement is amazing. So when we got base fees out, we had the team really working as a team. And then we got them out. And I think it says something about maybe expectations, but the feedback from the industry to all of us was really lovely. It's like, you said you get them out on that day, and you got it out on that day. They were really supportive.
It's good.
And I think government and industry and stakeholders, so the whole value chain, because NGOs, local authorities and other organisations are really important, are absolutely the way forward to deliver it. And now when we're talking about with packaging EPR, the appointment of the Pro, and that process being quite a long way in already, so that will be a really exciting evolution as well, to see what new things they can bring and how they can deliver added benefit. So it's all like super exciting. And I'd say that's probably what government is.
And did you say there was a second thing you wanted to say about?
So it was really about how time-consuming things can be,
yes, yeah.
which can be quite frustrating, especially if you're as impatient as I am, which, to be fair, is very few people who are as impatient as I am. But also the passion of the staff, the passion of the civil servants is really something to behold.
Wonderful. Well, I think that passion is probably coming from you as well as them. So thank you so much, Margaret, for being here today. We really appreciate it, and enjoy the rest of the show.
Thank you. I will, if I get round it.